Ready, Rachel? Okay. This is, thank you all for being here tonight. This is our May the 2nd Bowling Green Warren County Planning Commission meeting. And Matthew, if you'd call the roll, please.
Commissioner Drain, Commissioner Gay,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Graham,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Shaw,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Starks,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Vitale,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Volker,
Yes, sir.
Chair Warren.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, Matthew. Commissioners, you have the minutes of our April the 18th meeting in your packet. Are there any questions? Hearing none, we call for a motion, please.
Motion. Second.
Commissioner Gay,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Graham,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Shaw,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Starks,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Vitale,
Abstain.
Commissioner Volker,
Yes, sir.
Chair Warren.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Commissioners, you have your subdivision site development plans in your packets for your review. Are there any questions? All right, thank you. Hearing none, do we have any old business tonight? We have no old business. So before we enter into our public hearing, Hamp Moore, would you administer the oath, please, sir?
I'd be glad to. Mr. Warren, I request that you order the record tonight include the statutory and regulatory provisions that governs our work, the Commission's entire file for each application on tonight's docket, and the qualifications of each of the staff witnesses. Finally, I'd ask that you administer the oath to each of those witnesses.
Y'all swear to tell the truth? Yes, sir. Matthew, you got to raise your hand higher. We're getting there. All right. Just teasing. Our first item tonight is 2024-19 ZBG MAK Development and Holdings LLC, care of Andy Schultz, has filed an application to rezone 9.73 acres located a portion of the property on Nashville Road, abutting Cedar Way to the southeast from Ag, Highway Business, and Light Industrial to Highway Business and RM4 multifamily residential with a general development plan. Amy?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chair. We had a pre-app meeting on April the 3rd for the property that you mentioned. The current zoning is agriculture, highway business, and light industrial. Current land use is vacant. And the future land use is mixed-use commercial. So again, the applicants are proposing to rezone from agriculture, highway business, and light industrial to RM4, multifamily residential, and HB in order to develop the property with an apartment complex and self-service storage facility. And the site plan is on page 8 for your reference. Looking down at the development history, I just want to point out that the Planning Commission approved a flume amendment for a portion of the development in 2023 from industrial to mixed-use commercial. And then below that, the staff recommendation is approval, pending public hearing and testimony and discussion of the following. The proposal does comply with the majority of the criteria assessed in the review process and is generally compatible with the surrounding area. And staff has noted considerations regarding building uniformity for the RM4 portion of the development and hours of operation for the HB portion of the development. We look over at page 3 under the surrounding land uses. The applicant is planning a mix of multifamily and commercial uses for this development. Staff suggested that the applicant consider imposing hours of operation for the HB portion of the development that will adjoin the residential uses. The applicant explained that they would prefer not to impose a restriction on hours of operation due to a potential owner or tenant who is currently considering locating within that development. And below that are the surrounding architectural features. Multifamily structures in the area are uniform in color and appearance. Staff suggested that the applicants incorporate a similar requirement for the RM portion of the development. However, this was left unaddressed. That's all we have for staff report, but be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy. Might be some items that the applicants can address. Commissioners, any questions for staff?
Amy, as I look at the aerial, where does this abut residential?
So if you go to the site plan, page 8 on your packet there, you can see the residential portion on the side and then the self-storage units. And then they have their proposed drainage area that's located in the rear there.
Okay.
If you can.
I may have misunderstood in the staff report. I thought one of the reasons for imposing hours of operation would be its proximity to other residential developments. But I don't see any other residential developments abutting this property. Am I missing that?
Well, I think it would be the proposed multifamily that's within the development.
Very good, all right, thank you.
Take
Thank
that
you.
into consideration
Okay.
for those.
Thank you. Commissioners, any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Graham. Is the applicant here or the representative, and anything you would like to add to this? Yes, ma'am.
Good evening.
Your name and address,
Julie
please.
Shadowan, 908 State Street.
You swear to tell the truth?
I do.
Thank you, Julie.
I am here on behalf of the applicant. If we need to specifically address the hours of operation, I can call Mr. Schultz up and he can explain the reason why we did not do that. I originally didn't put it specifically in the application because it was not very far along in negotiations, but we're a little further along in negotiations at this point with a potential owner on the very front of the lot number 1. So if you would like him to come forward and address that, if it's not an issue for the commission.
Well, and I think the other question is that staff talked about the uniformity of the buildings. So if you would like to bring Mr. Schultz up here and we could talk about that.
Can I add one thing really quick? So the hours of operation would only apply to the HB area subject to this rezoning, not to
What's
the
already
front
front.
parcels.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
just wanted to clarify.
Okay, yeah,
If that makes
yes, it does, it does.
Thank you, Rachel.
So for the hours of
We got-
operation, oh,
Andy,
I'm
we got
sorry.
to swear you in.
Yes, sorry. Andy Schultz, 924 Drakes Ridge, Bowling Green, Kentucky,
Swear to tell the truth.
42103. Swear
Thank
to tell the truth. whole truth.
Thank you, Andy.
So hours of operation on the self-storage, there will be some of that for the office purposes, but like all of them around town, they're accessible through a keypad or a touch button on your phone to get in and out of past those hours. So that's one of the reasons why we didn't really restrict it, because people will be coming and going, so on that part. And to the uniformity, they will be unified. That's something that we will be doing stone, brick, hardy, just like all the other multifamily developments in the area. That's something that we want to stand by, is make it look uniform throughout. It's not going to be a vinyl siding type of development. It's going to be very Class A, nice
But
development.
it'll be the same look on every building.
Correct, you got it, yep. And they're all going to be owned by the same owner, not individually owned or sold, so we're in control of all that, correct?
So, okay, so single ownership,
You got it.
single management.
Yep, you got it.
We'll put that in there also.
Okay,
Yeah, that was, we added that to the DPCs, and we also included the consistency of materials with the exception of the actual storage units themselves.
So I may have misunderstood. Is that already in the DPCs currently?
So the material requirement's in there, but, and maybe I overlooked it, but I
It's
didn't
in-
see
yeah,
anything
it is.
with the uniform.
It is,
That
we
each
added
building
a
would be uniform?
sentence.
And if I overlooked that, I'm sorry. I saw where you added
On the RM4 DPCs, in paragraph 5, the very last sentence, all improvements within this zone shall be under single management. And then we added in 1, all buildings shall be constructed of the brick, stone, and hardy. Foundations shall be covered in brick except for concrete slab foundations. And then for the HB DPCs, we said the same thing, except for the metal, like I said, which would be reserved for the storage units themselves.
I think in DBC 1, we need to put uniformity, not just they'll all be brick stone.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we need to add that word.
Yeah.
on the multifamily?
On
one?
multifamily.
Okay.
Yes.
And so do I understand the only part that we're talking about business of hours is the self-storage? And so I guess my question is,
And it's their intent that it'd be 24-hour access. Is that what I'm understanding?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so my other question would be, what if self-storage doesn't go there?
It's going there. We're
Yeah, but
developing it.
we can't go with
Yeah.
you say it's going there. What happens if the people decide not to buy it and you sell it to somebody else?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, I would want something about hours
Okay.
before we just did a blanket of no hours, and then all of a sudden that deal fell apart.
Okay.
And,
Can we do the hours pertaining to a certain type of use? It's under highway business, but for
That's-
self-storage, could we restrict it for that?
Yes.
yes.
I would agree with that.
Okay.
If we say we're going to agree to some hours of operation for self-storage,
Sure.
and then, as Christian said, if for some reason this deal came unwound and someone else wanted to open something that would be a little less complementary to the neighborhood and run it 24 hours,
Sure.
we're not open to that.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
can
that's
we just
fine.
put something in there, the only thing that can be 24 hours access is self-storage? And everything else would be subject to a 11 o'clock, a 6 a.m. to 11.
Yeah, that's what I was going
Okay.
to ask.
That's fine.
What are your requirements as far as that, then? For anything that would not be self-storage, you're saying 6 to 11?
6 to 11.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm good with that if that works for the board.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well.
Okay.
Make sure you attest to that, I think we're good.
Okay.
And then in paragraph 1 on the RM4, you want uniformity.
All right, so I think we're, Julie, we're on paragraph 1.
It'd be DPC 1 would be the first one, right? Dean?
And DPC 1, that all buildings would be of, say it again, Christian, uniform.
Yeah, if we'll just add the word uniform
Okay.
in that sentence, I think that takes care of that.
Okay.
Okay, we have that, Ben?
And then on highway business, we will add a new section that deals with hours of operation.
Okay.
And
So,
that would be 6 a.m. until 11 p.m.
Yes.
For non-self-storage.
non-self-
storage
Correct.
uses.
You got it.
okay.
And I guess the only other question I have is in number 5, the multifamily zone shall be developed with clubhouse, pickleball court, grilling, and/or outdoor pavilion. I mean, the only problem I have with, is vague, is with that word "or," is what about if you just decide to put a grilling area in and do nothing else?
Well, we can take out the "or," if
That'd be
that
great.
makes it, yeah,
That'd be
we can totally do that.
Okay. All right, so Ben, you got those 3 changes? All right. So, Mr. Peterson will ask you, Mr. Schultz, do you agree to the 3 changes that are just been proposed?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Julie.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Is there anyone in the audience tonight that has a question regarding this proposal or opposition to it? All right, hearing none, commissioners would call for a motion with the amendments that have been proposed.
I make a motion to approve the proposed zoning map amendment together with and condition upon a general development plan docket number 2024-19 ZBG based upon the testimony and documents presented in this public hearing. The proposed zoning map amendment is consistent with the adopted Focus 2030 comprehensive plan as demonstrated by its compliance with objective and action items presented in the staff report. Therefore, the proposed zoning map amendment is in agreement with the adopted comprehensive plan, and further, I request this motion include a summary of evidence and testimony presented by the witnesses at this public hearing.
Commissioner Gay,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Graham,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Shaw,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Starks,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Vitale,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Volkert,
Yes, sir.
Chair Warren.
Yes, sir. The motion is approved, and it's a planning commission final action after 21 days unless a request is made for a legislative body to hear this item. Thank you all very much. Our next item tonight is 2024-20Z County. Top Best Ever has filed an application to rezone 12.6 acres located on a portion of the property at 5736 Russellville Road, abutting Page Lane, from agriculture to RS1C, single-family residential with a general development plan. Ms. Hurt?
Thank you, Chair Warren. We had a pre-application meeting back in August of last year for this property. As you mentioned, the applicants have requested to rezone from the current designation of agriculture to RS1C, which is single-family residential. And the current use is ag, and the future land use designation is low-density residential. And I'll leave the concept plan up here for your reference. In looking at the comprehensive plan and everything we reviewed, as a part of the process, we did find that the proposal complies with the majority of the applicable review criteria and found the proposal to be generally compatible with the surrounding area. We do have a couple of considerations for you this evening. The first, if you'll turn to page 3, relates to building height. We've noted that the existing homes in Brentwood Place, which is the subdivision that adjoins the property, that those homes are 1-story in height. The maximum building height allowed by the zoning ordinance in the proposed RS1C zone is 42 feet. Staff suggested that the applicant consider imposing a maximum building height similar to that of the existing homes in Brentwood Place. However, this was left unaddressed. And then the second item for your consideration is also on page 3 under proposed open space. The minimum amount of open space required per lot in the proposed RS1C zone is 30%. Sidewalks are required on both sides of the streets, and the applicant is not proposing to incorporate any additional open space or formal residential amenities within the proposed development. And so that is one of the items for your consideration as it relates to LU 2.1.1. And so the Planning Commission should determine if this is an adequate amount of open space. Other than that, our recommendation, you'll see on page 1, is for approval, pending any public hearing, testimony, and discussion. That is all for the staff report, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Rachel.
In the last sentence of that paragraph, the applicant is not proposing to incorporate any additional open space or formal residential amenities within proposed development. Are they proposing sidewalks or not?
The sidewalks are required on both sides.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So Rachel, this is single family, correct? All right. And do they get to count their retention basin in their open space?
So the action item from the comprehensive plan that I referred to earlier, it's not really about the retention area. LU 2.1.1 asks that you evaluate whether or not the provided open space is of an adequate area and of usable or scenic or ecological value. So that's what that action item says. And so we just wanted to point that out. It may be that you determine that that the individual amount of open space per lot coupled with sidewalks throughout the development is adequate, usable, and of scenic or ecological value.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
If I missed this, how much open space are they proposing?
30% per lot is the minimum requirement.
Okay.
So they've met that.
They'll have to meet that, yes.
So as I look at it though, Rachel, they've got it designed right now in a capacity that they probably will never get because there's no retention shown currently.
It's not easy to see, but there's plans in this general location, and then also, it kind of blends in with the aerial view, but there's also a small area down in this
Of retention?
area here, yep.
All right, very good. All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Graham. Commissioners, any other questions for staff? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is the applicant here or the representative, anything they'd like to add?
The applicant's here. My name's Kevin Brooks, 1010 College Street. I swear to tell the truth.
Thank you, Kevin.
We do not have anything to add to the staff's report. The applicant is here and our engineer's here.
All right, thank
Kevin,
you.
are y'all okay with putting some kind of height restriction in? I mean, I don't think we want to see a 42-foot, three-story house.
Yeah, well, I think, so let's talk about it a little bit. You know, I think this would be a little different subdivision than the one we're adjacent to. And for one thing, it's 21 years old, and we build them different now. No, I don't think there would be 40, I don't know how tall is a two-story house, Tim, I don't know.
I would think 30 would be.
Yeah, 30 would kill it, even if you had,
Yeah, 30 would be huge.
yeah, even if you had 10-foot ceilings, you'd still be,
In a two-story house?
yeah, so you're going to have 20 feet in two 10-foot ceilings would be 20 feet.
Oh, I mean, we're happy to limit it to a two-story house. It would
Yeah.
never be our
I
intention
think
to.
that would,
Yeah.
I would be,
That'd be good, that's fine.
yeah, I'd be good with that. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, so let's just go to 2 stories.
That's fine.
You could even pick a 10-foot ceiling height if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You have plenty there.
Okay. Somebody figure out where that goes in the,
There's number 3, property may be developed
Yeah.
at a maximum of 38, no more than 2-story dwellings.
yeah, it's fine.
And number 2 would say 2 stories in height. Okay.
I could only speak for me here, but I think I would be okay with their current open space, because I suspect once they get to engineering, I don't know what your topography's like here, but one of these lots might drop off in the engineering phase anyway.
Oh, sure.
And so, you know, we typically design these for maximum, but you know, you don't ever get maximum. So I would be okay with that unless anybody else has an objection there.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Graham.
You want to put, John?
Yeah, Kevin, if you'd call the applicant up here.
This is John Ridley, who's, go ahead.
John Ridley,
Address, John.
2078 Quail Run Drive, Bowling Green, Kentucky, 42104.
John, you swear to tell the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You've heard the amendment that has been proposed. Do you agree to that?
I do.
All right, thank you very much, John. All right, Commissioners, any other questions for the applicant? Is there anyone in the audience tonight that has opposition to this request? Hearing none, we'll call for a motion,
I
please.
make the motion to approve the proposed zoning map amendment together with and condition upon the general development plan docket number 2024-20Z County, based upon the testimony and documents presented in this public hearing. The proposed zoning map amendment is consistent with the adopted Focus 2030 comprehensive plan as demonstrated by its compliance with the objectives and action items presented in the staff report. Therefore, the proposed zoning map amendment is in agreement with the adopted comprehensive plan. Further, I request that the motion include the summary of evidence and testimony presented by the witnesses at this public hearing.
Second. Just a little early.
Commissioner Starks,
Yes.
Commissioner Vitale,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Volkert,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Gay,
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Graham,
Yes, sir?
Commissioner Shaw,
Yes, sir.
Chair Warren.
Yes, sir. The motion is approved and final action in 21 days unless a request is made from a legislative body to hear the item. Do we have any other discussion items tonight, Mr. Peterson?
No, sir. Mr. Warren, I think Commissioner Starks would like to change his vote on the minutes
Yes.
from approve to abstain.
Abstain.
Okay, thank you. So
He
noted.
doesn't want to pass.
All right, so noted. Thank you, Ham.
I was not here.
All right, you're here tonight, Rick. All right, so we have no other items. I think we have a pretty full agenda for our May the 16th. I think we have 5, and it'll be a full board meeting. So Commissioners, thank you all for being here. Staff, thank you for all you do. Mr. Brooks, thank you all for being here. Thank you, Don, for being here. And we are adjourned.